Hello and welcome back to Drama Investigator. How to make money off being cancelled 101. Ignore the fact you've been cancelled. Continue to upload to another profitable channel you own that's in an entirely different niche. Start doing sponsorships 2 weeks after being cancelled and continue to rake in that YouTube AdSense coin. Today we are going to be investigating how Myka and James Stauffer are continuing to make money on YouTube 2 weeks after being cancelled. And we're also going to be exposing more horrific ways that they treated their 4-year-old adopted son when he was in their care before rehoming him. So first off, it's interesting to note that about 2 weeks after Myka and James Stauffer got cancelled, they decided to persevere through the hate comments and backlash and continue to upload and pretend like nothing had ever happened. So Myka uploaded a normal video recently, maybe like a week and a half after posting the video that essentially ended her career. And this video got a heck ton of hate, so she deleted it not long after posting it. The video itself wasn't even addressing any of the drama. She was just going back to posting her normal regular content. So fast forward another week, James is like, well, I've still got to make money for this family, so he decides to upload to his other channel, which is a car cleaning channel. So the couple have 2 YouTube channels, both in different niches. And James's social blade shows that he's still making $236,000 annually. Basically, his channel has barely been affected, unless you count losing 1,000 subscribers. That's not really that bad in relation to the whole situation. And he's still estimated to be making around $19,000 a month. Meanwhile, Myka's channel is next to non-existent, making $0 as we can see here from her social blade. So if we compare these two getting back into YouTube after being cancelled to when James Charles was cancelled last year, it's pretty shocking. So James Charles lost millions of followers and went silent for 2 months dealing with all the hate, just to prove to the internet that he actually wasn't in the wrong. Like, he fully redeemed himself. And Myka and James are literally villains who rehomed their adopted autistic son and are making a comeback a week later. Now, I do realise they have 4 other mouths to feed, but I honestly don't feel that YouTube is the right industry for them to be in, considering how they've literally profited off an adopted child and rehomed him when it no longer suited them. Their entire channel as well was built off profiting off this little boy. James also knows that Myka is losing her channel, so his channel is now how they're making their living. Unless of course Myka goes back to work as a registered nurse again, but honestly that's going to be really hard for her to do considering her past has been brought to light online. Employers definitely look you up online these days, and when they see all the controversy she's in online, she probably won't be able to get hired anywhere. That, and she also has to explain her lawsuit because she allegedly another nurse at her last job. So Myka and James have got 4 kids to look after still, biological kids I might add, so it's going to be interesting to see James continue powering on through with his car cleaning channel, which is clearly unaffected. Maybe slightly by the look of his comment section, but when you look at his social blade, he really doesn't have much to worry about. Now again, if we compare the situation to James Charles, it goes to show that certain niches on YouTube really don't get affected when someone gets cancelled. Like, I'm sure the channel will be affected over time. The views he gets on his videos have gone down a little bit if you look closely, but for now he's still making hella bank off doing sponsorships and affiliates and making that AdSense coin. A recent sponsorship James did actually turned out to be a store of his own. So basically he was promoting these detailing brushes, which you can get from Walmart or Target probably for a fraction of the price, but it turns out that he bought these brushes in bulk from a supplier the exact same day that him and Myka posted that video that essentially destroyed their career. So it's almost as if he knew getting cancelled was coming. Why would he buy in bulk from this particular supplier though? Well, Myka was losing all of her sponsorships and no one wanted to work with her anymore, so he knew he was next. And it turns out it was actually exposed that the people who he bought in bulk from weren't actually happy with him buying from them, but at that point it was already too late. So how do we know that James himself runs this online store? Well, if we head on over to the about section of his store, he literally talks about his passion for YouTube, blah blah blah, and car cleaning. So yeah, he fully runs this store. And ultimately the store is another piece of side income for him and Myka. Now, if we go back to his description on his latest video, not only is he promoting links to his store, he also has a heck ton of affiliate links with Amazon. And it would be interesting to know whether his affiliate partners know of his history or not. In James's comment section, he's not even getting that much hate. Nowhere near as much in comparison to Myka. People are literally commenting, could care less about the drama, glad to see you back. Welcome back, James. Keep up the great work you do. Lots of love to you and your beautiful family. Stay strong and positive positive. With love from Greece. And James is liking the very few positive comments that are on his video. Super awkward. James has also been called out for deleting a heck ton of comments, so former fans are now wondering how is the best way to handle this situation? How can we get them off YouTube? Well, ultimately, the best way to handle this whole Stauffer situation is to hit them where it hurts most. Unsubscribe and just don't watch any new videos they post, as hard as it may be, because essentially this channel was made off an innocent little boy. They made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of him, and threw him out when it no longer fitted their needs. So leading on from this, internet sleuths are finding out more about the mistreatment of Huxley whilst he was in the care of Myka and James. And the stuff that's being brought to light is becoming more and more horrific. So there's this video that's being dug up at the moment where Myka put Huxley in timeout over food, and also filmed him whilst doing so. So throwback to one of my last videos on Myka, we had exposed some screenshots of posts that Myka had made on an adoption support Facebook page. She was complaining about Huxley staring at her and her husband whilst they ate. The post reads, "Our son adopted from China is very delayed but is obsessed with food. I understand the reasoning. However, even if he just ate, he always stares at everyone when they eat. You can't eat food without him watching you eat, even if he has food in front of him. Has anyone experienced this? Does it lessen with time? And it drives my husband bonkers." So heaps of people were really upset when they saw the screenshot of what she'd said about him, because it's almost as if she didn't understand the reasoning behind why he would be behaving this way. Clearly he was mistreated and not fed enough before he was adopted. So Myka exposing her adopted son like this online was really unacceptable. So obviously a lot of the videos that Huxley was in on Myka's channel have since been deleted. Not all, but a lot. However, most of the videos she had deleted were downloaded on a Chinese website similar to YouTube. And so this is where people are finding more evidence of his mistreatment. In one of her day in the life videos, she was complaining about how she can never get anything done around the house, and then she proceeds to film Huxley having a meltdown because he wants more food or something along those lines. For copyright reasons, I can't play the actual clip, so I'm going to read over what she said in the video verbatim. Just bear in mind the titles might not be exactly what I say word for word, because the titles are translated to English. "You're okay. We're just joking every time I try to do a day in the life. It's usually Huxley's hard days. We're having meltdowns because we've already had breakfast and we just want to keep eating. And it's not time to eat, so we're gonna sit down. We have to wait. You can have a snack. See, somebody's ready to go back to bed. Huxley, excuse me, what do you want to do? Okay, we'll get a bite in a minute. You have to wait, you're gonna sit right there. Alright, Huxley is enjoying a good old time out. Now he's actually doing really good just sitting there, and I don't have a problem giving him as much food as he wants. It's more principled. It's about we don't just throw fits to get our own way, so we're trying to work through all that." So Myka chose to film Huxley in a very vulnerable position, and this is what's pissing people off most. Also at the end, she was telling the camera that Huxley was doing very well now in time out, but he's not. He's literally crying. Huxley is also a very small, thin little boy. He was crying because he wanted food and he was being punished for that. So people are questioning, why not give him some more food? So I did a bit of investigating to see what the correct measures would be when dealing with an adopted child who has anxiety surrounding food, and literally the first article on Google from an adoption website states to do the exact opposite from what Myka did in this situation. It says, feed your child every 2 to 3 hours for younger children, every 3 to 4 for older children. You may need to offer food more often initially. Let your child decide how much and what to eat from what you provide. Sit and enjoy meals together. Avoid distractions such as electronic devices or arguing. Under stress, food insecure children often eat more. Reassure them that there will always be enough. A food stash may be reassuring. His own drawer in the fridge, pantry shelf, or a basket of healthy snacks that do not require refrigeration to be kept in the child's room that they can access at any time, but is not an out from providing regular meals and snacks. Providing and sharing meals deepens attachment. So Myka did a very poor job at helping him in this situation, which is heartbreaking. Maybe she thought this is the right way to go about his anxiety, or maybe she just didn't care. It's very hard to know. Huxley, however, is completely dependent on the people around him to care for him and feed him, but Myka and James did not meet his needs. Huxley clearly did not receive regular meals or proper nutrition in his first few years of life, so his first feeding experiences weren't positive, and it is noted in research that for many adoptive parents, this behaviour doesn't initially make sense. And Myka was doing what she thought was right, but the issue lies in the fact that it's pretty obvious she wasn't doing proper research into his behaviour in order to help him. By restricting a child who has suffered from food deprivation, this can actually make their anxiety worse, which is probably why his behaviour was never fixed. In fact, restricting his food probably only made his obsession with food worse, which is why we could see Myka getting so annoyed, and then she started complaining online on that Facebook forum. However, this is not a problem Myka nor James now have to deal with because they've rehomed him. So instead, this is now an issue tattoo he's going to carry with him into his next home that hopefully his next adoptive parents or parent will be more understanding and helpful with. So what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments.